Hi there, everybody. This is Mark Smiley with another online mock review, let's call it. What I have here is the lightsaber design that was posted to Bricklink by user NTGUNN1. This would be this lightsaber is obviously one of the most iconic designs. It is the lightsaber that Luke Skywalker was handed by Obi-Wan Kenobi. When Darth Vader lops his hand off, the lightsaber falls into obscurity, and then it comes back again in Maz Kanata's little restaurant basement. And that's when Rey, of course, gathers it up. This would be obviously one of the most iconic lightsabers that has traveled the galaxy. So what NTGUNN has produced is this amazing mock, and I thought we could go through it real quick. He's got a great stand for it, very simple, but holds it up nicely. And that is going into a little hole here, and basically holds onto one of these side straps. When I saw this mock online, I was very excited to, I was very intrigued by how these grips were coming off on 45-degree angles, and how that is accomplished is quite wonderful. So let's actually kind of dive into that a little bit. What he's got here is just the little round discs that have the round bricks, the 4x4 round bricks that have holes in them. He's throwing in some Technique pins that basically just have a pin on one side, stud on the other. And this is all held together mostly actually by these black pieces. They're pretty much giving it a lot of the moral support. This whole structure, though, is a lot of it is held together by I can't get it out of there, but well, let's see if we can. There we go. A rod. So that rod, I think, is one of the ones that has a little bevel on, a little lip on one side, so it's kind of stuck in there. But what you end up getting is, it gets you the ability to create this, half of the bricks are actually the way you normally have them, and then half of them are rotated by 45 degrees. And then that clicks in, that would click in like this. And then this would all fall apart if it wasn't for the simple fact that these things are now going around anchoring everything together. So that's a great design. It really answers the question of how you get things on a 45-degree angle on these round parts. I think that now that I've taken it completely apart, I'm going to get this piece on the wrong side. So everybody forgive me, because I can't quite remember where it was. You'll see that you can actually kind of wiggle these. Oops, I just really botched that up. Well, we won't try to do that again. Anyway, so now these are almost back together. One of the great things about how he designed this was it is rather robust. Yes, these things can wiggle, but he's got it so that if you shake it, the whole thing doesn't just flop apart. Now, since it's a long rod, you would expect that if there wasn't any sort of core to it, that it would all just fall apart. Especially with some shaking. But what he has bothered to do in every situation is he's got let's call it one main component, two main components, three main components, four main components. These are kind of combined at this point. He's got all these main components held together with axles, and once again I'm going to destroy it. But so these axles are holding the majority of this whole thing together and giving it that robustness. So that's that I would applaud that decision. This part here, I think, depending on what you're looking at on the internet, I think this is normally would be considered just round, but in order to get some of these other little things and maybe make it a little more detailed, maybe make it just a little bit larger diameter, it goes with a slight oblique, some sort of oddball shape, but I think it satisfies the visual quite well. This button situation here, or this long whatever you would even call it, I know that it's almost like the prop is clearly using like a printed circuit board to make that. This might be a little oversized, but once again, I have no complaints about the overall design and look to it. We'll scoot to the end here. I do believe there's probably at least something going on here that makes this so it doesn't quite hold together right. That is mostly because, but this is just an ingenious, hopeful use of this plane engine part. What he's got here, let's pull this apart, is the plane engine has the axle going in, and that's what's anchoring it into here. And part of the plane engine is going into this recessed area. And then what he's got on top here, the plane engine is mounting to the inside of this, and things are holding on to the plane engine, and then these two studs are holding onto it. So the axle and those two studs are the main components that are holding this on, and that's how you're going to get those nice little that nice little tube coming out the tip. So that does look quite great. Of course, I've been saying how robust it is, but I don't think you're not meant to just completely manhandle and destroy it for online sake. But one of his buttons, these two buttons are the same size. For some reason, aesthetically, I just decided to make this one shorter. The other thing that I changed here, and I'm sure that he might not have, or NTGUNN1. I'm not certain if this is a male or a female. I shouldn't assume. So these little clicky things, great. I modified it right here. I know that this wouldn't go here, what I'm about to show you. It would probably go down here somewhere. But this is all solid to the core. That's solid. There's no place to put anything. So what I've done is, I think I'll pop it off here, I think. And I don't even have all the right pieces still. But I hollowed it out, and I added some little crystals. That's just for my own personal hoot. I know they're not, there probably isn't where the kyber crystal would go, but I just really like the idea of it hiding a little crystal in there, so I put those in there, and we can reassemble this. Every time I take this thing apart, I keep forgetting which orientation some of these things go in. So the last little build design things that are pretty impressive is these is the use of these new macaroni 2x2 curved pieces, tiles. Those are pivotal in a lot of the design. They show up here throughout to make sure you don't get any of these little any gaps in there. So those are pivotal to this design. I think I just put that on there, yeah. And now that I've destroyed my my modification, changed it so that there was a little stud here so that I could attach this. I even attached a little fan piece there as though something was, I don't know, maybe it's the emitter, some sort of focus. Let's put this thing back together, throw it on the stand, and let's all give a nice collective round of applause to NTGUNN1 for his amazing design. I will put a link to his Bricklink Stud.io gallery posting in the description. You guys hop on over there. If you like this design, go give him a little like on that. If you like my little modifications or anything like that, let me know in comments. Of course, I just wanted to have a crystal inside. Well, I am planning on doing a handful of other little online MOC reviews. Not really reviews, but online MOC overviews, let's call it. I've got a Claptrap video and the Baby Yoda video in the works, and also a couple little microfighters. So you guys have a great time, and take care. Bye-bye.